if you're just starting soil blocking, I hope you see this video first, because this saved me a lot of heartache and money. Before you go down the YouTube rabbit hole of soil blocking, I spent days watching videos and writing down like 4 pages of list ingredients and blah, blah, blah. This is no recipe, but I'm going to explain it so it makes sense. Okay, so this is old, out of the pots in my backyard, this is old potting medium. I took everything out of the pots, shook as much of the roots out, and this is just old mix. Potting medium is mostly peat moss. So this is your straw. And then, like making old bricks. So think of this is your straw, and compost is your clay. And then you add water. Essentially, this is free if you're using your old stuff. And if you're new and don't have old stuff, ask your family, your friends, your neighbors, anybody at church. You know, people at the end of the season usually take their pots, put them in the garage, and they don't mess with them till spring. So ask around. You can find somebody's old medium somewhere if they don't reuse it. Okay, so then this is organic humus and manure. This is code for compost. If you have your own compost pile, just sift your own compost and you could use it too. So this is the clay that's going to bind your straw together. So when you're making your blocks, you're going to want, I think I do like maybe 4 or 5 scoops of this, maybe to 1 or 2 of this. Make your soil block or make a couple of them. If they totally fall apart, you don't have enough compost. It's not sticking together. If you water it and it like melts, then this is your straw. You need more straw to make it not melt. You're essentially making bricks. And instead of drying them in the sun, you're making the bricks to stay wet. You never want your soil block. You're always going to bottom water, and you're going to keep your blocks wet. So these are the finished ones, and I will show you how I did these. And I put the vermiculite on top so they stay totally wet. And then I put a piece of plastic over them until they come up. And everybody will tell you when you bring stuff in from outside, you're going to get fungus gnats. You are going to get fungus gnats no matter what you do. I can't afford, and I've never used them, but I can't afford all the expensive stuff to get rid of fungus gnats. I buy these little sticky things. I cut them in 4. I use a hole puncher. And I'll punch the holes like in the top of all 4 and then a little wire, and I hang them. And it will keep your fungus gnats at bay. And at the end of the season, when everything like goes planted in your yard, after about a week you won't see fungus gnats. So I'll put a link in the description. Oh, so this bag of organic humus and manure. Oh, there's one right now. I didn't even, first fungus gnat of the year. January of 2025, I priced this at Home Depot, organic humus and manure. This was $3.98, $4 and free. This will make a lot of soil blocks. It'll fill up all my shelves. So this is my soil blocker. All you want to do is get out all the big chunks out of this. You don't want any big chunks, because then you won't have like a decent soil block. Okay. These buckets are at Home Depot, about $10. Best ever. When you're doing soil blocks, you can put a lot of stuff in here, and you'll see. You'll see. I see people using those big tall ones, and they have to like reach way down in. That looks like a pain. So say this, whoops, this is your straw. Let's go with, say 3. Okay, so you want to sift out all the garbage. Oh, pick these up at the dollar store. Best thing I ever found for like working in this bucket. You will love it. Okay. So, oops. See how much garbage is left in there? And then what I'll do is I'll put a bucket on the floor and I'll put all this garbage in the bucket and then I'll put it in what other potting medium somewhere else. Or grow it in the garden in the mulch, whatever. Now so this is going to be your clay, but you never want your stuff to dry out. But the compost, any compost, it doesn't matter. This is going to make your soil blocks stick together. There's no exact recipe. So you think of bricks. You almost want more straw than clay. Or I don't know. Okay, think of your bricks. You want a lot of straw for your clay. So, okay, what's going to happen is when you go to make your soil block, if you pick it up and it totally falls together, you need more compost. But if you go to water it and it melts, you need more straw, more potting medium, peat moss. So this is all the big stuff that would get stuck in those itty bitty soil blocks. And that's what would make them totally fall apart. Give it a little mix. I think it needs more compost. Oh, we'll see. Okay, then I add hot tap water. The hot tap water is not going to kill fungus, gnats, and bugs and all that stuff. I've never won the war on fungus, gnats. Okay, I'm going to give this a mix. And the hot water just makes it absorb faster. That's why I used hot water. And I used tap water just because all the chlorine is going to dissipate long before your plants are... You don't need any nutrients in your plants, in your soil blocks. You're only creating a medium for the seeds to germinate, get 2 sets of leaves, maybe 3, and then you're going to up-pot them. So it doesn't need any nutrients. If you get more than 2 sets of leaves, then you're going to add water with the diluted, like, what do you call it? Like Miracle-Gro or fish fertilizer. You're going to water it with that. So none of these nutrients matter because the plants are too young. The nutrients in the compost isn't broke down enough for your plants to absorb it. So you have to use a water-soluble plant food, like fish fertilizer, diluted Miracle-Gro. I use Miracle-Gro just because I find it in apartments and it's free for me. Okay, so I'm going to let this totally absorb. You want it to absorb into all that, even though it looks nice and wet, you want it to really absorb into the peat moss. Peat moss doesn't like water, but it seems to be really nice and wet. So I'm going to walk away about 10 minutes, maybe go do some dishes, and then I'm going to come back and this will be ready to... Okay, I forgot to mention, I made a video on this. I'll put the video link at the end or in the description or whatever. I just made the sides a little too long and I used a hole saw to cut this out. But if you don't have one, or you don't make one, I use this one for years. This is from Dollar Tree. It's $1.50. So just simple like this. So I walked away from this mix for about 20 minutes. And it's nice and absorbed. Okay, so okay. So I just mash it into the bottom. Don't be polite. Be a little brutal. You're not going to break it. When you push down on this, you can see all the water coming out. That's how you know your medium is wet enough. Okay, so do one if you're not sure about your mix. Well, it's not melting. It could use some more dry mix. But that's how you're going to water them. Restaurant trays. So these were, I bought these from a friend who bought an old bakery for $5 a piece. If you go to a restaurant supply company, they're pretty pricey. Maybe look for restaurant auctions and you could pick these up. if you go to, I went to Dean's Restaurant Supply in Cleveland, and I picked these trays up. The color was discontinued, so I got these for 67 cents. I think I bought 10 or 12 of them. If you go to estate sales, you can pick up nice heavy trays like this. I paid 50 cents for this. Okay. I'm going to move them over just slightly. You want enough room in here in the middle. Oops. Want enough room in here in the middle so that when you water, it'll go all the way through. Now when you're ready to water, you have plenty of room. So you have plenty of room for the water to get in and around. Keep saran wrap on it to keep them moist. They'll dry out super, super fast, so check them twice a day. Keep a bucket of water. I keep a bucket of water on the side, keep it rinsed off. Never, ever, ever let this dry with a bunch of stuff in it because they're a pain in the butt to wash. Keep a rag on hand in case you have to answer the phone. I'll show you how I seed real quick, real fast. I'm planting this whole thing up with lavender, if I have enough seeds. These are for my community's, the village gardeners. They're going to plant these in the bioswales on Fleet Avenue. As they want the plants big enough, like by June, that they can go in the ground. Lavender, most herbs, any woody herbs grow pretty slow. So you kind of want to start those early. Use a wooden skewer. I put a drop of water in there. And the water will make the seed stick. Too much tea today. Oh, come on. Okay, and then once I get this all seeded, I'll put plant markers in here, put some saran wrap over it, and I'll leave the saran wrap on it until I see plants coming up. As soon as plants come up, then I'll leave the saran wrap off. You have to check them twice a day though, because they will dry out faster than you think. I'm going to put my lights on for, I don't know, probably 16 on, 8, was it 16 on, 8 off? So I finished seeding all these. So it's 20 times 7, it's 140 lavender plants. And then I use vermiculite. It says 1/4 inch depth, but this will keep them nice and moist until the seedlings come up. Whoops, a little too much. I found these milk jugs in a property I cleaned out. I love them. Then use plant markers. I use old mini blinds to mark my seeds so I could put them here. So even if you only have 1 or 2, you can divvy them up if you're only starting so many seeds in one section. Thanks for watching. Peace.